profusely apologizing to you guys for the delay with this reading, okay? I'm traveling right now. Things have been crazy, hectic, and I can't apologize enough. There's no excuse for this, and I apologize once again. And either way, I hope this video finds you well. I hope that this reading is still timely and relevant and resonates with you. And I hope that you can, get whatever you need in terms of guidance from this reading as we navigate the energies of December 2019. We are rounding out the year and we're embracing new energies and we're encountering a lot more stability. Um, I feel like everything that is pulled, all the cards that are showing up here in this spread, really denotes to me a relationship reading, okay? And for those of you who have been watching me for the past, couple of years, I don't do exclusive love relationship readings, but I do feel that this is coming out as such, okay? And I also feel like there might be a lot of different people that you're dealing with as well, like either a lot of options, or some of you are dealing with this person, others are dealing with this person, others this person, and so on and so forth. So the reading seems to be like this, okay? The center is you, and then you have like these 4 other people that you're dealing with. That's what it feels like to me. So I'm going to relay some messages or images that came through when I was shuffling, and then we'll unpack these messages and see how it plays out in the cards, okay? So you've got some, I want to say vivid, very vivid images that came through. First of all, the first image that I saw is I see this man. He's probably like around 45 to 50 years old. He's wearing like a flannel shirt, okay, and he's wearing a coat, a very practical earth tone coat, and denim jeans and a pair of work boots. He's in his driveway and he's shoveling snow. So he's shoveling snow, and it's not fun work. It's heavy duty labor, but there's a lot of snow piled up in front of his truck, and he's trying to take his truck somewhere. So he's shoveling snow, and it seems like he's been at it for like 20 minutes. His face is a little bit red from the cold. His nose is like, starting to run, and it's also like turning red from breathing in the cold air. He finally succeeds, and then he stands up and he kind of leans his weight on his shovel. And he's feeling a little bit of pain shooting down his legs, okay? And I feel like this might be the right side, like the right leg, around the hip area. So I'm thinking something similar to like sciatica, or just something like I don't feel like it's a pulled muscle. I feel like it's a pre-existing spot, okay? So then he puts away the shovel. He's finally able to clear the driveway so that he can move his truck. He gets into his truck, and then he drives to this little diner. So through this, I guess, like moving picture, I feel like he's just going through the motions, okay? Going through the motions. But it's cold, it's snowing, and he's just, trying to get someplace warm. He goes to this diner where he goes every day to have his breakfast. And so he sits down at let me see, I guess it's kind of like the counter. This is not a bar, so it's kind of like the counter. And he gets his coffee, he gets his, eggs and whatever, eggs and bacon and whatever, like a hard, sturdy man like him would get for breakfast, and straight black coffee. And there's a woman behind the counter. So it seems as if he goes to this diner a lot because the woman's there, inadvertently, because she makes good coffee, because she's also quite attractive. And I also feel like she's significantly younger than him, okay? By significantly younger, I would say 10 years or more younger than this man, okay? She's pretty, and she's young, and she's really just bubbly, and she's like everything that you could hope for, when you have a gray day and she's serving you food, okay? So she's behind the counter and she's just like, I saw you kind of limping when you walked up in here. What's going on? And then he touches the side of his hips, like on the right side. He's all like, oh, it's a pre-existing condition, okay? So that's what he says. And then I kind of hear his thoughts where he's thinking like, the cold triggers it, or it's every time around this, every year around this time, it bothers me. So he's thinking that. He doesn't tell her, but he's thinking that. She serves him his food, and he's looking at her, kind of like doing her thing behind the counter. And I feel like he's thinking as well to himself that, if I were younger, I would love to have a woman like that by my side. Okay? He's not thinking anything inappropriate. He's just thinking that she's a very lovely lady. She's pretty, she's nice, she's kind, and she seems very observant. So he's thinking that, but he doesn't let his feelings show. So this is a man who's got a very, very rough exterior. He's probably like a blue collar, day laborer. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just feel like, he's somebody that fixes things. He's somebody that uses his hands and uses a lot of force with his job, right? So you don't see the tenderness or the softness in him, but his thoughts are very soft and tender. You don't see it on the exterior of this man, but I feel like, he's got a good heart, okay? He's an honest, hardworking, good man. And the scene cuts out. So what I was seeing here is, I feel like for some of you, you might be the waitress or the hostess or the person working behind the counter. Okay? You might be in a position where a lot of people that you normally might not consider your type are kind of secretly admiring you from afar. And this kind of harkens back to the Aries reading that I did, where Aries, they have a lot of admirers and a lot of suitors, but the suitors are kind of looking at Aries like they want to have a screaming good time with Aries. But I feel like your admirers are thinking like you're a really good person, you're a really good man, or you're a really good woman, and they wish they could find a really good man or a really good woman like you. They see the gentle way in which you deal with people. They see the friendly way and the ease in which you have conversations with others. They see the ease in which you're able to smile and make people feel at ease. And I feel that it's really comforting for, it's just like, they're naturally very drawn to you. And what's really interesting is with Aries, and the reason I mention Aries, excuse me for those who are not familiar, Aries is your opposite sign, it's your shadow side, okay? So the energy playing out for Aries in their love sector is also very similar to you. But with Aries, because they're a fire sign, they attract very fiery types of personality as well, where their admirers declare, verbally declare their love to them. And I feel like whereas for you guys as an air sign, all of these thoughts and feelings are felt by your admirers, but it's kept in the mind, it's kept in the mental space. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And I just feel like if you find yourself in a situation where somebody keeps crossing paths with you, I don't think it's an accident. I think that they're purposely, either purposely or subconsciously, very drawn to you, and they want to be in your presence, and they want to be around you. So it's not just, serendipity or like, oh, coincidence. You're here. I saw you the other day over there, and now you're here. What are the odds? They're not stalking you or creepily invading your space. I don't feel that. I don't feel any creepiness or any stalkerish vibe. I feel like subconsciously they're very drawn to your warmth. And funnily enough, I did the reading for Aquarius and Gemini, and in one of those readings, your fellow air signs, I mentioned that somebody was very drawn to your warmth. So for whatever reason, air signs are not typically like considered warm. No offense, we're not considered warm. We're considered friendly and easy and easy to talk to, but not super warm the way that a water sign would be. But for some reason, I think it was the Aquarius reading, that people sighed, and it's making it very visible. But I digress. Either way, I'm going back to this image, and there's another message that came through, so let me relay that before I forget. This man is a habitual patron of this diner, okay? So he might have started going there before the waitress or the hostess works there. Or he might have started going, so I don't know the ins and outs of that. But I just feel like he plops himself right by the counter under the guise of, it being convenient because he's there by himself, but because he enjoys chatting with and looking at this woman. And so I feel like, it's not a coincidence. If you keep seeing somebody mulling around or in your vicinity, or like you constantly run into them, I feel that they're energetically thinking about you and drawn to you and admiring you. And I also feel like they're definitely interested, but the way in which they show their affection, they might be a little bit rough around the edges. They might not feel like they're good enough for you, or they might not feel like they're your type. Okay, they might not feel like you're. They might not feel like the feelings are mutual from your end, and so they never say anything. Okay, so that's just what I saw first. So for those who are single, give people a chance, because I'm seeing here there might be a really good man or a very good woman in your environment that would be a very suitable relationship partner for you. Not only that, for those of you who are looking for like a serious partner, somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with, I feel like there's somebody here that wants to go the distance. They'd rather be single than be in the wrong relationship, right? So it's not someone who's desperate for a relationship. They know themselves. They know what works for them. So they'd rather be with you rather than, just date around and be in bad relationships. So I feel, in a way, this person might have entered your radar, but might have not caught your attention because they might not have felt like, that they're your type. And you might have like a working relationship with them where you just never thought it was possible that there might have been romantic feelings or romantic thoughts or, inclination from their end to want to date you. So I feel like it's like missed, I don't want to say a misconnection because, the person's always there. But I feel like, the feelings are never talked about, okay? So there's a really good man, a really good woman in your midst. And so, keep your eyes out if you're single, okay? So, having said that, let's talk about these 4 characters. First of all, for those of you who, okay, so let me try to remember that image that I saw here. Okay, there's a message here. Something it's like he said, and the words that he said really resonated. Like, every year around this time, it bothers me. Okay, so he's talking about like a physical discomfort. But I feel like for many of you, it's not just a physical discomfort in the northern hemisphere. So I feel like something is being triggered either seasonally, climatically, It's uncomfortable physically, and then it becomes uncomfortable kind of emotionally. Okay, and so I do feel like there might be a lot of squabbling between you and a significant other over something that gets triggered every year around this time. For some of you, this could have to do with, the blending of the family, co-parenting. Do we send the kids to this place, or do we send the kids to the other place? If you're in like blended family, that also becomes a source of contention. Do I take my kids, or do my ex get to keep the kids for these major holidays? Do I spend, time with my new wife, my new husband, and their kids? Or do I spend my holidays with my ex and my child with the ex? So it's like complicated, okay? Things are complicated. And so I feel like something is recurring. And then I also feel for many of you, the message that I'm getting here is just because there is conflict amongst people, it doesn't mean that the love is not there. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you, because that's what chose to come out. So that's what like just kind of oozed out. So I feel like it's kind of telling you, if you're dealing with somebody and every single time you talk about this one topic, it triggers conflict, it triggers like disagreement, it triggers lack of consensus, it just triggers like really raw emotions within you and then within that other person. And just because it does that, it doesn't mean that there is, zero compatibility. It's just you feel really strongly about this topic, they feel really strongly about this topic. This might just be a hot trigger topic for you and this person. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, and it doesn't mean that, you guys are doomed. Okay? It doesn't indicate to me that this is a sign, this is not the person for you to be with. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that even the best relationships, go through periods of abundance and drought. Even the best, healthiest relationship um, involves quarrels, involve disagreement. And actually, a dose of disagreement strengthen a relationship, okay? So once again, I'm going to give that analogy with the tree. I don't describe it very well, but I'm just going to try. So when you have a tree, okay, the tree has to deal with inclement weather. It has to grow in a place where there's a lot of wind, where there's a lot of rain, where there's a lot of just, it has to be exposed to the elements for the trunks to become stronger, for the tree to learn to grow straight. And so adversity is the stuff of life, okay? It fortifies us, it makes us stronger. So arguments within the relationship serve the same purpose in that it strengthens the relationship. It allows you to stand your ground, and it allows the other person to stand theirs. And it allows the two of you to learn to compromise, to learn to work around each other. It strengthens the relationship. So every relationship requires a healthy dose of arguments, disagreements. Okay? And the reason why I say this is we have the Five of Swords, which is bickering. So you see this card, there are three chickens, and it's clucking. You know how when the chickens just cluck? It's very irritating, it's very annoying. And at the end of the day, it's just clucks, just noise. No one is really hearing one another. But it's joined up here with the Two of Cups. When we're dealing with coworkers, office parties, family gatherings, meeting everybody from, friends and relatives and who they're dating, keeping everybody's uncle's names and aunt's names straight. We're in this environment where we're not going to get along. And I keep hearing this as well. The topics of politics and religion will come up. And, it's such a hot trigger topic nowadays. So we're not always going to get along. But we don't have to get along. With this Two of Cups here, it's a gentle reminder for us that, we're not human unless we have strong opinions about things, right? Unless we can think for ourselves, and unless we know what we believe in and what we don't believe in, what is total rubbish. And so it's really telling you to pick your battles, because the Five of Swords is mindless bickering. Whereas the Two of Cups is about camaraderie. It's about calmness and tranquility and compatibility. So pick your battles, but at the same time, a healthy dose of conflict, if we don't take it personally, is very good for fostering solid, strong relationships. And, Libras, you guys are the gentlest signs of the zodiac. I feel like you guys and Cancers are very gentle, are very kind, loving people. You're also very conflict avoidant. You will stand up for the things that you believe in, but you don't want to argue with somebody, especially if they're not very knowledgeable. You don't want to waste your time. And then you also don't like it when other people argue, okay? It ruins your vibe. It ruins the ambiance, and it makes you uncomfortable. And so I would say, being around this environment might not be all that bad, because I feel that some things need to be addressed. Some things need to be kind of brought to the surface and talked about, so that we can fortify our relationships, okay? It's sort of like with family members. It's a love-hate relationship, right? We get, you can't live with them, can't live without them. There's a lot of conflict, there's a lot of bickering. They know how to push your buttons, but at the same time, there's, unconditionally, there's a lot of love. So it's one of those situations where take the good with the bad. That's life, pretty much, okay? So there's this person here where, you can't get along, but it doesn't diminish the love, okay? And then I have another person here that is very loving, very attractive, very beautiful. And it's showing up here as the Empress. This is somebody with children. This is somebody you might have children with. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is possibly like the beginning of something. So for some of you, you might be contemplating, going after somebody that you're really interested in. You might not have children, they might have children, and so you're kind of slowing your buying your time, or pondering, and if this is a good thing to get involved in. Give me just 1 second. Sorry about that. So I was talking about this person right here, and I feel like, they have a really good heart. So it's shown up as the Empress. This is the caretaker, the nurturer, the giver. This is someone who's also very attractive. They're beautiful or handsome. They take good care of themselves, not in a vain, way, but they're very presentable, okay? And I also feel like they're very good with animals. They're very good with children. When people are good to animals and are good to children, they're just a good person. Okay? So I feel like you and this person might be on the verge of either tying the knot, taking a relationship, somebody asking somebody, approaching someone to ask. They could be approaching you, you could be approaching them. For hey, do you want to go out for dinner? I'm interested in you. So there's some type of an offer coming through with this person here. And then I also feel like, you might be single without children. They might have children. You might have children. They might be single without kids. There is definitely an age difference, okay? So I'm seeing this could be, that hostess at the diner. You might be a little bit older, and you're interested in her or him, or the other person. One person is older than the other, so there's an age difference here that I'm sensing. And I feel like it is a very good match. And I feel that, if you're the one without the children, their children are very well behaved, and they will embrace you like family. They will treat you like family. They will, invite you into the fold. Okay, so I feel like there is a potential here for a really good relationship. I also feel as well, these two characters can be enmeshed or can be the same person. But just because there are occasional conflicts and just because you can't get over this one thing, it doesn't diminish the love in this situation in any way. All right? I feel like some of you are thinking about, traveling, spending like a large amount of money traveling as a unit, traveling as a family. So you're possibly saving up, like measuring out your coins, measuring out your pentacles, saving up so that it's like you've been planning this and you want to do like an extravagant getaway. And I also feel like you might be doing this with your whole family, with siblings, brothers, sisters, mom, dad, grandparents even. Like it's an extravagant type of a trip, a get together, a getaway. And I feel that it's going to be picture perfect. Okay? I have here the Ten of Pentacles, generational wealth. It's resting on top of the Justice card. So I feel like, generosity, everything will be balanced out if there has been squabbling. And, at the end of the night, when everyone's a little bit tipsy from the food and the wine and the drinks, and everyone takes that family photo, it's going to come out great. So I see a lot of togetherness, a lot of, camaraderie, and just a tremendous amount of love here coming through from this spread that indicates to me, no matter what, it's going to be fine. And so what I also feel as well, when I saw that man kind of talking about, every time around every year around this time, it bothers me. I'm getting an image of snow, okay, like the cold, the snow. It could even be the where somebody exited the picture. I feel like somebody exited the picture and you're missing this person. For some of you, this could be a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. We have the King of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the King of Wands. So this is the fire sign. Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. And the Five of Pentacles. Leaving the picture, left out in the cold. There might not have been a lot of communication between you and this person. You're looking at them, thinking and wondering what they're up to. They're thinking and wondering about you, what you're up to. For many of you, this is like a relationship that never got off the ground. Misconnections. I feel like the other person had to do something to get their career or their work in order. I also feel like you had things in your life that was preventing you from being in a relationship with this person. Okay? And I do sense for many of you, you might be in another relationship and you admire this person. I feel like the feelings are very mutual. You like them, they like you, but for whatever reason, they were going off to pursue their career. You might have been in another relationship and you couldn't be with them. So the feelings are felt, but I feel like out of the sense of responsibility and morality and ethics, nobody did anything because they didn't want you to stray. You also didn't want to stray. And so there was like a missed opportunity here. And I feel like, there's the same sense of abandonment, the same sense of nostalgia, the same sense of lack, and the same sense of like lack in communication, lacking in communication, not wanting to be on the outs with this person anymore, being a little bit as well, I want to say like, it's stirring up a pain, okay? It's stirring up like a discomfort, a pain. And you wish that it wasn't there. You wish that it wasn't there. You wish that you could find a way to, it's like it's a recurring thing. So like it comes back in very unexpected ways. There might be symptoms, there might be things that trigger it, there might be, communication from the person about, cycles, something being very cyclical. It's recurring, it's coming back. And especially for those who are single, it might be a really good time for you to contact this person and reach out, because they're looking at you, you're looking at them, and I do feel this tremendous sense of longing, missing, wanting. And it's not like a passionate sexual way. I feel like there's a lot more depth to this. It's an emotional connection. Okay, where like in their presence you feel whole. You feel like you're on top of the world. And so if you're single and if you want to reach out, it is a really good time for you to reach out, because I feel like they're looking at you and they're wondering what you're up to. And so a hello would go a long way, okay? I'm also feeling as well, for some of you, you might be in a relationship, or somebody might be in a relationship and they're admiring you. They're not doing anything about it, but there's also this tremendous sense of passion. Ace of Wands, okay? New beginnings, a newness, like a spark. Just imagine you're in like a dark cave and you can't see what's ahead. You can't see what's behind you. It's dark. It's a little bit damp. You're not able to perceive like where you're going. And then all of a sudden there's a match, and then a spark, and then a torch, okay? And it brings light and it brings visibility to this dank and dark cave. That's what this card represents. It's like I once was lost and now I can find my way. Now I can see. That's what it feels like to me, because there's a spark of passion here that somebody is coming in, igniting in your life, or you are coming in, igniting this spark in somebody else's life. And once we have been ignited, matches are like single use, right? So it denotes to me this is like a once in a lifetime, or this is like something that is very extraordinary. Something that is very unique, something that comes once in a lifetime, something that brings us, into a new sense of being. And so I feel like the presence that you have in somebody's life, whether or not you are aware of it, it is very transformative. And keep in mind, it is single use. So it's like they can't find another one like you. You can't find another one like them. And without this person's presence in the picture, life is just not the same. And so if you're dealing with this energy and you're not really sure what you should do, I would say of the year. And so it's a really good time for us to tie up loose ends. It's a really good time for us to kind of like, so it's like you're hitting the end, right? So you can't really procrastinate anymore. So it would benefit everybody, I feel. Wrap up loose ends, say what needs to be said. Don't carry the energy into the next year. Don't carry the regrets. Don't carry I wish I could have reached out. I wish, we could have been communicating. I wish I could spend the holidays with this person. I wish I could see this person. There's a lot of opportunities here, and there's just like undercurrent. There are a lot of different stories that are coming through, and the undercurrent is constantly, there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of reciprocity here with this major arcana, the Justice card. And so everything that's on top is like the facade. The waters run really deep. the spiritual connection, the emotional connection, the love, the consideration, the kindness that emanates from the other person to you and you to them, vice versa. It's in a very human, caring way. And so I feel like whatever it is, don't leave things unsaid. Don't leave things unfinished. Wrap up loose ends. Complete them. And decide for yourself who is worth bringing into the future with you. Because you have a lot of loose ends, it seems. And got here is the Queen of Pentacles. And I mentioned before, I feel like some of you might be in a relationship and you're like physically very attracted to another person outside the relationship. I feel like somebody who might also be in a relationship that you're very attracted to is attracted to you. And I see this sense of like somebody, both of you and the other person, are very aware of that there might be obstacles, and you guys are not acting on it because you want to, do things the right way. You don't want to infringe upon their home life. They don't want to infringe upon yours. You don't want to be the other woman, the other man. They don't want to be the other woman or the other man, or even put you in that situation. So this is a situation that's very exalted because I feel like, two people foregoing their lust for one another out of respect for one another, out of respect for the sanctity of marriage, out of respect for like the spouse or the woman or the spouse, the wife or the husband. So it's like I can admire you from afar, and we can care about each other, but we're not going to act on it. So that's very admirable and that's very honorable, and I feel like it's coming through from your end and from the other person's end. Okay, so wrap up loose ends. Okay, do what you have always wanted to do. And, speak from the heart. When you speak from the heart, people listen. Try that next time. I'm going to leave it at that, Libras. And I hope this reading resonates. I hope it is helpful for you. And I wish you all the best, okay? Have a wonderful time with your loved ones and your family and the people that matter. And I wish you all a